Now there's an east-west connection between Eastern Orthodoxy and Celtic Christianity via Cassian. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, John Cassian. Well, I don't like the word Eastern too much. The Saxon church before the invasion of the Normans was also Orthodox, and the Celtic church, because Cassian brought monasticism from Egypt to the West, and the Celtic monasticism was shaped by that experience. So Cassian had a big impact on Celtic monasticism, and therefore on Celtic spirituality or spiritual life. And I think how profound that was when the Dark Ages had come upon Europe. Not as dark as some people think, but anyway, when they came, the re-enlightenment of Europe came from the Celtic Orthodox Church. And the monks who came from Ireland could still speak Greek. They were the most educated people still in Europe, were among the Celtic Christians. And to have that connection with Greece and that connection with Egyptian monasticism through Cassian, it was really quite remarkable that they maintained that. And they were able to give that back to Europe. If you read the history of the re-enlightenment of the Germanic tribes, the Germanic nation and the Gauls and things, you'll find that many of those enlighteners came from the Celtic Church, from the Celtic regions. So we should never undervalue that Celtic experience because it had such a huge role in the re-enlightenment of the West in it. And really Cassian brought Egyptian desert monasticism. Well, not just Egyptian, Palestine and the wilderness of the terrible desert and the Negev. He brought all that to the West, and it was shared and held on to so steadfastly in the Celtic lands that even when the Saxon and Anglo areas of England were conquered by the Normans, and Lanfranc, the Minister of Education for they ended up exterminating the Saxon bishops and forcing the married priest out of the priesthood after the Normans took over. And that was something that Celtic monasticism then was able to hold out against some of the new influences. Of course, the monks were all unmarried, so they didn't have a problem with unmarried priests either, but to realize that they still spoke Greek and could still read Greek after all the vicissitudes and trauma and terrible things that happened from the Vikings and all the others. You see how remarkable they were and how profoundly they could reach out and teach others. And really there's a connection through John Cassian to the Desert Fathers for those people.